Hey, this is Realtor Ray Petrick. Today we're going to talk about the 19 things you should know before moving to Singer Island. Now, before we get started, be sure and hit the like and subscribe button because we're putting out new content every week. If you are thinking about moving down here, relocating, or looking to buy and sell property in the Palm Beaches, you can reach out to us by phone, text, email. Heck, you can even send a message in a bottle because that works too. Where is Singer Island? Well, it's part of Riviera Beach in the Palm Beaches, and it's just north of Palm Beach and West Palm Beach. It's just east of North Palm and Palm Beach Gardens and just south of the Juno, Jupiter area. So let's get started with the 19 things, and these aren't in any particular order, but they're the things that I came up with. And if you stay tuned, I'm going to give you a couple other nuggets that you should be aware of if you're thinking about moving down here to Singer Island. Now, personally, I've lived here for about 2.5 years. I live on the beach in a beachfront condo. I absolutely love it, and I can't see myself living anywhere else. And that's from a guy coming from Illinois, living in farm country. So, the first thing, and probably one of the biggest reasons people move to Florida, is the weather. Now, that can be good and bad, as we've seen with the last hurricane. But the weather here, for the most part, is amazing. I mean, most of the days it's 85 degrees to 90 degrees and sunny. It's beautiful. If you live by the ocean, you're always going to have a breeze, so you don't get that hot, humid weather. I mean, we have days that's like that, but for the most part, it's absolutely incredible. I'm sitting here today. It's the middle of October. It's probably like 87 degrees. There's a breeze. It's absolutely beautiful. It does get colder in the winter months. You know, we'll get down sometimes into the 50s, even in the 40s. But even in the winter, in January, we get these 80-degree days and a lot of 70s in the month of January and December and February. You're just going to run in, you're going to get some rain and things like that. As far as the rain, it can get absolutely incredible. You know, being by the ocean, we get these huge storms. They'll come up really fast, rain, and then, you know, you wait an hour and it's beautiful out. So it's very hit or miss, but for the most part, the weather is incredible and absolutely amazing. Now, if we do run into hurricane season, you know, you want to pay attention to the weather report, to the news, and really kind of follow the direction because as we've seen, hurricanes can absolutely be devastating. Now, me being that I live in a high-rise condo, you know, I would be not opposed to leaving the area. That's not a problem. I think the building will probably be there when I come back. Let's talk about the sunrises and sunsets. We have some amazing sunrises. I mean, I actually get to the beach almost every morning, and most of the time I'm there for sunrise, just drinking my coffee, and it's just really, really cool. I like to go fishing, so I fish off the beach as well. The sunsets, even though we're on the East Coast, the sunsets, even on the ocean, are incredible, especially when there's some clouds there. You get these beautiful reflections with these iridescent colors that you just don't see anywhere else. You get these pinks and greens and blues. It's just orange. It's just amazing what the sky can look like. You almost get like this fire sky sometimes. Just absolutely beautiful. As far as activities, we have world-class fishing here, world-class boating. We have, and I'm giving you a bunch of them at one time, world-class snorkeling, diving right here on Singer Island. You can go to the marinas there. You can go to Blue Heron Bridge at Phil Foster Park. You can go snorkeling or diving right there. Matter of fact, that is a go-to spot for divers. A lot of times they'll go there even to test their gear, but they can see an incredible amount of wildlife underwater, all in one spot. And they can dive right off of the shore. So that makes it very easy for them. They don't even have to go out in a boat, but there's tons of diving boats that go out every day. You can get all kinds of dives. I've even gone on a shark dive up in Jupiter. So lots of diving, snorkeling, things that you can do. The fishing is absolutely incredible. You can go the bill fishing here. I'm talking about sailfish, marlin. Sailfish is just a huge sport here. And you can do any type of deep sea fishing you want. there's always boats to take you out. You usually got to schedule in advance. What I do, if I want to do that, I'll run down to the bait shop and ask who they recommend. Or you can just walk down to the marinas and see, who's bringing in the fish. That's a good test of it too. But then again, that can have to do with the day and the time that you go. My recommendation would always be to go in the morning if I was going on a boat. Also, as far as other sports not related to water, and like I said, they do surfing here, they do parasailing, everything. They do all that stuff, windsurfing, all that kind of stuff. I see it all the time right out on my beach. I don't think I'm going to make it on the surfboard. I do have one, but it's 6'7", 240. It's not happening anytime soon. Let's just get that straight. All the other sports, tennis, golf, there's tennis courts, absolutely. I think almost every condo has tennis courts. As far as there's tennis, I belong to Palm Beach Gardens Tennis Club. I go there. They have clay courts. I think they have 24 clay courts. And because I'm a non-resident, I think it cost me $700 a year. If I was a resident of Palm Beach Gardens, it'd be like $300. But I still get discounts on my lessons, things like that. Golf courses, there's golf courses here everywhere. Within 15 to 20 minutes from here, you have world-class golfing everywhere. So if you're a golfer, it's just not a lot of golfing on the island. If you want to drive 5-10 minutes, that's all you need to do. And if you're a golfer, you probably know that already anyways. The other thing too, I find is just living here on the island, you can see everyone out there every day exercising, taking care of themselves, whether it's just walking, jogging, bike riding, whatever they're doing, swimming. You kind of absorb that healthy lifestyle. So you want to be healthy. You're around so many people being healthy. And I know it did it for me. I started eating better, exercising more, because it's so accessible and you just kind of want to fit in, I guess. So you're out here and you can be outside doing so many things that if you live in a northern climate, it's harder to do. Here, it's almost all year round unless we hit some very nasty rain or storms. But for the most part, every day you can be out doing something. And there's plenty of gyms around if you like working out in the gym as well. Let's talk about our beaches. Our beaches are amazing. We get, our sand, I guess, is not the same as like you'd find up on the Gulf Coast, where they have like a powdery sand. We have more of a coarser sand, and our beaches are not as deep here as you find that I've seen, in the West Coast, but they're absolutely beautiful. Our water, being on the Atlantic, obviously gets a lot rougher than they do in the Gulf, but it's just beautiful. Some days we get this most beautiful aquamarine color. It's just stunning. So if you like the ocean, this is the place to be. Let's talk about erosion. There is some erosion that takes place, being on the beach. But what I did notice this year, especially, they went and they pump in a bunch of sand. They dredge it further offshore, and then they bring it ashore on these big. They dump it, actually. They'll dump it on the shore and move it around with heavy equipment, and that really cuts down the erosion. Now, all the stuff they put there in the wintertime has now been washed away, but at least they stay on top of it every year or so, and they're attacking the erosion opposed to just letting it happen. Here's something really interesting that a lot of people know. We have a big turtle season here, and when the turtles are laying their eggs, and I guess they can lay eggs up to like 4 or 5 times a year, maybe it's more than that, but you get these ginormous turtles coming ashore, green turtles, leatherback turtles, and they come and they lay their eggs. They dig a nest. I've actually watched them do this. I've watched them come ashore, they dig these big holes, and then they lay their eggs and they go back in the ocean. It takes them about an hour or so to do, but that's what they do, and they do their turtle thing and they leave. Now, during that time, if you're living in a high-rise condo, they ask you to keep your lights out at night. That's usually from about the month of April till about mid-July or so. That's the turtle season, somewhere around there. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but it's about a 3-4 month period, and that's when they're laying eggs. But it's really cool also, if you keep an eye out, you'll see them actually hatch, and you'll see about 100 or so of these little baby turtles come busting out of a hole in the ground, and they know right where to go. They go right to the ocean, and that's what they do. Now, some of them don't make it. Something that can happen too while you're watching is some birds can swoop down and start feasting on them, and as they get in the water, there's fish there waiting to eat them then too. So, sometimes it's not good to be a baby turtle, but they say something like 1 out of 1,000 actually make it. Also, we have here, I even see the manatees. I'll see them out while I'm snorkeling or diving, or just they'll go swimming by, stingrays, manta rays, all kinds of stuff. You just can't even imagine what you can see here. It's just this wildlife, basically a sanctuary. One thing you really want to know about Singer Island, it is kind of isolated. Now, that can either be a positive or a negative, depending on how you look at it. I like it because it's kind of a positive. So with that in mind, I'll even talk about safety. I feel very safe on Singer Island. Now, Riviera Beach kind of gets a bad rap for safety. And, there's some dicey parts of town, but not so much so on the island. The island itself is very secluded. The police force here is in force. We have, I think, we have 2 fire stations, and we actually have the Riviera Beach police, plus we have county here too for Palm Beach Shores. So we have plenty of police in action, and I've never really witnessed anything too crazy going on here. So something to keep in mind. And a lot of the beach condos are actually gated environments. And even in the subdivision I'm in right now, I'm standing here at the intercoastal part where this is where all the single family homes are. They have actually cameras around. So someone's coming here looking for trouble, they're gonna find it probably. So actually a very safe place to live. I've ridden my bike, walked the beach at 1 in the morning and at 10 in the morning as well. I feel just as safe at any time. Oh, this place shuts down. Here's the crazy thing about it. Singer Island's not really a big party area. There's a lot of restaurants and things and bars on the island, just mostly in one area on the south end. And after about 10 o'clock on the weekdays and maybe 11 on the weekends, it pretty much shuts down. So it's not like a big party area. Now, some of the hotels like the Hilton and the Marriott, in their areas, they might still be going strong. But if you're looking for a big party area, the thing is, it doesn't happen here. But just off the island, if you want to go to West Palm, or if you want to go to Lauderdale, or actually one of my favorite places to go to is Delray, which is a total party there. And if you want to go go out dancing, drinking, eating, whatever you want to do, or even up to Jupiter, they have some great spots up there. That all happens there, and it doesn't have to happen in your backyard. So just minutes away, you can get to some amazing places. But Singer Island does shut down kind of like 10, 11 o'clock, and that's really every night. So let's talk about the setup of the island. So most of your condos, all the high-rise condos, you can actually see them behind me here. They're and that's just the north end, but they're basically on the beach. So once you're living in one of those, you're on the beach. You don't have to walk across a road or anything like that, like you would in a lot of these areas like Delray or any of those. You have to walk across a road to get to the beach. Here, you're right on the beach. So for me, I will go out my door, I walk 100 yards, and I'm on the beach. I'm just walking through the parking lot, and that's how I get there. And I go through a gate. We have a gate there, and I'm on the beach. I don't have to go step across the road, worry about a car hitting me or anything like that. So it's very, very cool. And that's like that with all of the buildings, all the high rises here anyways. They're actually right on the beach. Now, all the single family homes there's only probably like 1,000 of them. Those are more from the south half of Singer Island going south and into Palm Beach Shores. I would say there's, like I said, about 1,000 homes there, if that. I mean, there's a few new construction ones, but there's not any more land here. I mean, if I look over here, right here, you can see there's new construction right there. They just started that project maybe a month or so ago. But a house like that's probably gonna be worth somewhere around $3 or $4 million. That's the other thing as far as the cost. It can be quite expensive depending on what you're relative, what it's relative to, what you're used to. If you're used to paying $1 million for a house, then Singer Island will look like a bargain to you. But single family homes here, like a 2 or 3 bedroom, you're talking a starting point of probably $700,000, and that's probably something that needs some updating. Something that's all updated and everything and super nice, you might be looking at $1 million or so. And I'm talking about a 2-3 bedroom, single story, 1,200 square feet. I'm not talking about a 5,000 square foot house. And as you get on the water, you're probably looking at maybe $1.8 million to $2 million minimum, and then up from there depending on the view. If you're in the channel, if you're on the big water, they could be $4, $5, $10 million, whatever it is. But there's not a lot of those here. Most of the ones on the channel are probably $2 million properties or so. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. The problem is there's just not many of them for sale. I mean, even in a given year, maybe 25 of them will sell. So one thing I want to tell you, and this is coming from a kid who lived in Chicago his whole life, in the Chicago area, actually in the suburbs. I'm never leaving here. I'm never leaving here. This place is absolutely amazing. I've been here two and a half years. I absolutely love it. Now, you may not like Singer Island, but living in the Palm Beaches is absolutely incredible. The weather's incredible. The people are super nice. I've met some really cool friends. I took up tennis. I'm not big into golf, but I took up tennis. I've gone snorkeling. I've done things I've never even done before, and really have gotten into fishing, a different type of fishing too. I go fishing both on the ocean and I go fishing in the intercoastal, and it's just a lot of fun for me. And like I said, the weather is always amazing. And when it gets too hot, you know what? You just go inside, and that's why we have air conditioning. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe button, because we're putting out new content every week. And we absolutely love it when you reach out to us. Now, if you want to reach out to us by phone, text, email, heck, you can even send a message in a bottle, because that works too. But anyways, that's all I have for today. I'm Realtor Ray Petrick with Remax Island Properties. Go get some.